All right, so in this one, we're going to talk about data retention. This could also be considered an expiry release chapter. So let's get into it. So you might be asking, what exactly is data retention? Basically, what you should know first is that, yeah, it is absolutely essential for time series databases. Basically, what it does is it expires old, sometimes called cold data, as set by the developer. This has obvious benefits such as saving your database space, and less obvious, but still kind of obvious. It allows the tables to kind of naturally stay a certain size, give or take, as time passes. So, I mean, you can imagine if you have thousands of sensors pushing up data every, let's say, 5 seconds or something, or even every second, eventually that becomes unwieldy and kind of not important after, like, let's say 3 years or something. So you can set it so that it automatically gets rid of this data as the time you set. So yeah, you can do every 3 years or so. Once GridDB realizes that that data is over 3 years old, it'll just, well, first it'll become unusable, and then eventually it'll be deleted. All right, so here's an example of data retention based on the official documentation. I just kind of took the screenshot from there, but here's an example of data, right? So let's say you have an example partition, expiry release of 10 days. So you can see here the current date is October 5th, and you have 10 days, right? So obviously October 1st is less than 10 days ago, so this is all valid, but it'll show here that on the 16th, that's when the row will officially become old or cold. So you might be noticing that the first is obviously more than 10 days before the 16th, but because the data retention in GridDB goes by partition, not by row, it'll go by the newest data. So for example, 10.1 already passed the threshold of 10 days. That doesn't matter because its partition shares with 10.5, and since on the 15th, 10.5 is still not past retention date, still valid according to GridDB because it's based on the partition. So basically, whatever data is the oldest in a partition, that doesn't matter. So it's the newest data in the partition that triggers the expiry release. So that way, basically your rule holds true, right? So you put 10 days, and even though 10.1 is past 10 days, that would mean, if since they share a partition, if we follow this date, that means your 10.5 data would be erased, which obviously is not correct, right? So you can see here, for example, on the 11th, it's all valid still. On the 12th, still valid. And on the 16th, as we discussed, since the 5th is now officially past the 10-day mark, now it is cold data, and now it cannot be queried against, and then eventually it'll be deleted. So yeah, as I was speaking, you kind of may have heard that basically for this to work in GridDB, it only works on partitioned tables. So I will go through an example of building out a table that is partitioned, and then I will also show you how to set the expiry date on that table. At the moment, it's only done via what's called NewSQL, which means, unfortunately, none of the APIs such as Java or C or Python or anything else can actually do this. New SQL is limited to JDBC, so we can use Java and connect via the JDBC connector, and also we can actually use the GridDB shell. So let me just jump on over and show you the hands-on example using JDBC first. All right, yeah, so as mentioned, this is going to be the hands-on portion. So I will be walking through creating a container/table, and I will set a data retention rule. And when that rule has been fulfilled, we will see that the rows of data are removed. So right now the way to do this is through SQL. So you can do SQL either through JDBC or through the shell. So I originally intended to show the JDBC, but it's going to be the same thing. It just adds the extra steps of running the Java file. So instead, I'm just going to focus solely on the web shell, or sorry, just the shell, the GridDB CLI, the command line interface. It'll be much easier. So let's just get started. So right now I'm into my GridDB machine. So let's switch on over to the user, and then let's drop into the shell. All right. So now we want to actually create the container. So here on the official docs, you can see that there's a SQL reference page. I just hopped in here and I looked at the creating a partition table. So to use the expiry release functionality, it needs to either be the interval partition or interval hash partition. The other type of partitioning, the third one, the hash partitioning, doesn't allow for this functionality because these two partition types are the time-based ones. So basically what we can do is we can just copy this here, and this will create our table for us that has a 90-day expiration time. So the partitions will be set by 30-day intervals on the back end. And then whenever a partition has data that's over 90 days old, once the oldest data on that partition, once the newest data on that partition exceeds the 90-day rule, then that partition will be removed and all that data will be gone from your database. Okay, so I know it's a lot of words, so let's just actually create the table itself. So I have it saved here to make it easy on myself. So so this schema you're probably familiar with by now. It's the one we've been using. It's the environment data. You can see here what it is. So it's 9, I think, columns. Yeah, 9 columns. So I'm going to create a table for that, and I'm going to set the expiration time to 3 days. 3 days, and the partition by days. So let's try this. Okay, so let's head back into our shell. So this is already the shell, so I can already do stuff like this. So I'm just going to copy and paste, paste the entire command. Not sure why this name is. Maybe it's a. Yeah, okay. It might just be graphical error. Okay. So now let's try show container. So if I look here, it's interval partition expiry 2. So let's try this. Okay. So first and foremost, we can see our schema. So this is identical to the one from the Kaggle dataset I just showed. And more importantly, you can see the partition type, which is interval, the column, which is TS, is our timestamp. And you can see the partition type, the expiration type is through the partition, and it's a 3-day expiration. So I'm recording this video on September 7th. So what I wanted to do is I have some data here that I am going to put into my database. And you will see that eventually the data gets too old. The database will not accept the data, okay? So here I'm going to put one row of data. This is from 1 day ago. So now if I query this table, I get the one data that I put in, right? So now let's try 2 days ago data. And if we query, we get two results. And now let's try September 1st. So this is 6 days ago, right? And our expiration should be 3 days. So if I put this, it should theoretically not take because it's breaking our rule that we set. Okay, now let's try to SQL. And we see we still only get 2 data results. September 7th, September 6th. September 1st is too old for our database to accept. So obviously this is kind of going backwards. In a real life scenario, obviously the data would already be there, and then eventually it grows cold and eventually gets deleted. We're going backwards because I'm working in real time here, but yeah, that's basically how it works. It's pretty simple and immensely useful. Thank you.